Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the Path of Night.
Last time, on Path of Night, at a motel outside New Haven, Gabbey walked Wynn through the bizarre steps to rouse Neil from his torpor, which bloodbound the Malkavian in the process. Arriving at court, the coterie was shocked to find one of the leaders of Operation Longbow, the infamous Roman Pendragon, had arrived to give an ultimatum to the city's residents: submit and join his crusade against the Sabbath will be conquered. Also, the new Nosferatu Primogen arrived to court, investigating Johnny's involvement in Shaw's death. Johnny, as the Elysium gathering starts to wind down a bit, the guests start filing out, and the various kindred start forming up with their closest allies and start quietly making their way out. You find Wynn kind of shoulder by some of the local Tory, and in a bit of a hurry, she makes her way to you.
Johnny, we gotta go.
You seem like you're on the warpath.
Yeah, I'm not on the warpath. I'm on the trying to prevent warpath.
All right.
I think I fucked up.
Yeah?
But we need to get the others, and we need to go.
All right. Well, I think I saw Neil. I think he was coming over to check with Fester. I'll grab him. Last I heard, Miles and Britta were looking for Nyx. I don't know where the heck you're going to find them.
I can look around for them. It won't be hard to find them. They're not exactly a subtle presence.
Meet you out front?
Yeah.
All right. Stay sharp, Wynn.
Will do.
Johnny heads over to where he last spotted Neil and kind of does a quick scan around to see if he can spot him with Fester.
Neil, you do finally find Fester kind of slinking along and watching the Toreador social clique from afar. He's got like a little bit of like a very creepy, longing look as he watches them.
Neil, sort of having already been ousted by the Toreador social clique, skulks along the wall beside him until he's standing right next to Fester. Hey, buddy, what's
Hey, Neil. How exactly do you think it is that they do that?
Do what?
The makeup in the hair. You think they sleep like that?
I have no idea.
You think they got like minions or something that do the makeup for them? Because it seems like it would take so long.
I know. I'm pretty. Oh shit! Does she? I'm pretty sure Britta does her own makeup, but I have. No
You should
idea.
find out for me. So how you doing, Neil?
Doing. I'm.
Nope. How you doing?
I'm around. I'm here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm implying here, Neil.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see you, but
I got.
You're supposed to be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Hey, nerds!
Oh,
Johnny comes storming over. We gotta get out of here. Wynn's
what's happening?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry.
Coterie business.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you later.
He kind of looks down at Fester a little bit.
Fester looks up at Johnny.
Kind of unsure of how to do this. Thank you.
Oh, good. That's actually why I was coming over, but now I don't have to.
Say no more. I'm happy to help. Roll.
I don't know if you want anything official on the books, but you got a favor for me if you ever need it.
That actually sounds really swell. How about
Well, great. It can't be tonight. He kind of pushes Fester aside.
is a major good? Major?
Hey, man.
We need to go. Wynn's a little spooked, and I think we need to back her up on this.
Yeah, if we need something, we can, I'm happy to get out of here.
We're meeting them out front. Let's go.
Sure. Sounds good. Fester, I'll see you around. I'll talk to you later. Don't.
All right.
Okay.
Let me know when you need that thing, Fester. Johnny starts walking off.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, I guess. Wynn needs it. Neil, not knowing how to end a conversation ever, just turns and walks away and follows Johnny.
He kind of like looks weirded out as you guys head off. And he just kind of turns, resting his chin on his hand, and like sitting at a table, turns to watch the Toreador be pretty.
Wynn kind of takes a minute after she and Johnny part to not take a breath so much, but take a moment to kind of center herself so that she's less of a bull in a china shop. And she looks around to try and find either Miles or Britta, or both, ideally. She spots Miles first and kind of makes her way over to him.
After having a brief discussion with the prince and such, after Pendragon had left, he had moved off to call Marcos to come bring him a suitable car to leave Elysium from, because he is tired of the vehicle that he came in. And tired of all those vehicles and needs the comfort of his own. And he sees Wynn come over and moves to intercept. What's going on?
This shouldn't come as a surprise, but I think I fucked up politically. And I think we need to go.
Nothing we can't fix, but sure.
All right.
All
right, do you know where Britta is?
Check around the Toreadors usually.
All right, got it. And she heads back inside to look for Britta.
Britta wouldn't be too far off from where, assumably, Miles had walked away to have his phone call. She might be readying to gravitate back out to look out for maybe she's looking to go speak to a Toreador. Maybe she's looking to go speak to Nyx. It's not clear, but she's still on the move.
Wynn kind of catches up with her and puts a hand on her shoulder. Hey, we gotta go.
Why?
I did about as well as politicking as I thought I would, and I really need to regroup.
Then we should stay and fix it, yeah?
I don't think this is a stay and fix thing. I think this is, we need to talk privately, and we're not going to get that here.
Which group was this, during a Primogen meeting?
Yeah, kind of. After the Primogen meeting, the new Nos kind of cornered me.
Okay, so we can do that after we talk to Nyx, talk to everyone?
No, I think we need to go now.
I haven't even seen Nyx, so I don't even know if she came back to Elysium after that.
I don't know where she went after the Primogen meeting.
Are you sure that we need to leave right now?
Britta, I know this is important to you, but the one thing we kindred have is time. We'll find her again, I promise. And I don't make promises I can't keep.
Britta looks down, and the frustration shows through on her face, but she kind of nods stiffly and looks back up to you and says, "All right, next time, please."
Next time, definitely.
We'll set up something official.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Next time, please.
Next time.
I'm also interested to know what Nyx knows, but many things happening at the same time. Do you know where Johnny and Neil are?
Johnny was rallying Neil. I think Johnny said he saw him talking to Fester.
I hope Johnny said good things to Fester.
No clue.
Very good.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, so if we have to go, then let's just go.
Okay.
Yes, Marco should be coming, so we shouldn't have to wait too long. I mean, if you guys want to go off in the Honda.
I'm fine with waiting for something else. You live like 15 minutes away, maybe, right?
I was thinking that Johnny could keep that car for now. I'm sure he could do fun things with it. Like, I don't know, Destruction Derby.
I imagine we're walking out towards the front at this point.
As the group of you gather up, you do find Marcos is there. Miles, I gathered a vehicle as quickly as I could on short notice. I hope everyone is comfortable. He kind of like leads you outside and takes you to this kind of older luxury like Mercury Cougar. It's got a nice color to it. It's like a simple magenta, probably not like as distinguishing as you prefer, but it's a nice car.
After tonight, this is excellent. As long as it does not smell like narcotics.
I do not believe it does.
Oh, good. Very good.
Is this your personal car, Marcos?
Yes.
So I take it you don't want any smoking in it?
Whatever makes you comfortable.
It seems like we should be nice and wait.
I can wait.
Britta, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If this is inappropriate, please stop me. You look upset right now.
What's the question?
Do you do your own makeup, or do you have like somebody help you?
Britta kind of like closes her eyes and like slow blinks and looks to Neil. Yeah,
All right.
I do my makeup. Why?
No,
All right,
that's
jackass.
fine.
In the car, he starts pushing Neil down into the cougar.
When you like push him down into the cougar, there's actually like a hunk of plastic kind of in the way, and you realize there is a car seat in the back, and you have to actually take the car seat out in order to properly shove Neil into the car.
What's that for?
That's a good question.
It's nothing. Marcos kind of very quickly moves to collect the car seat.
Britta looks at Miles.
Yeah, so does Johnny.
Yeah, so does Wynn.
Marcus is allowed to have a personal life. I don't.
All right.
I don't fully.
Apologies.
No worries. It's perfectly appropriate.
Like goes in your
No,
pocket
I-
trunk. and
Are you sure?
puts it away.
How about? I mean, we could. This is your car. We could take another car.
As can I. Don't worry.
I assumed he was coming with us.
As he's talking and looking at Marcos, Neil pulls out his phone and just shoots off a text message to Fester. Just to answer his question.
Okay.
I assume. Yeah, Marcus is coming with us. Don't worry. This is just a quick ride.
I assume, Lex, that falls under crafts.
Makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
Or expression.
3 dots, so that's probably what's the expression.
Hey,
Yeah,
Marcos,
it's pretty well done makeup.
Very important question.
I appreciate you coming out on short notice, but it seems like you were actually up to something tonight. Johnny fits the car seat back into the back seat.
I insist, Johnny. He gets like very kind of indignant when you interrupt his service to Miles.
I mean, there is the Honda if you want to take it.
Let's just get in a car and go. Marcos seems willing, so let's...
Let's just do what Miles wants to do.
Since when have we ever done that?
Oh, whenever it comes to cars, and Neil just kind of looks.
Miles
Miles.
is really trying to contain himself on this one.
All right.
Just trying to.
So,
Car seat in the back. Neil, back seat, middle, feet on the hump.
Oh, yeah, of course, Wynn. Sure.
Where are the keys to the Honda? I'll
If
have it
that's-
moved.
If that's what you want.
I'll take care of the Honda and meet you at your haven.
Oh,
Sounds good.
Shit.
And after being told where to sit by Wynn, Neil happily gets into the middle and puts his feet on the hump.
Don't worry, Wynn. I won't get in any trouble. I'll meet you guys at the haven.
Sounds good.
All right. Neil, you don't
situated
have to
us-
sit with your feet on the hump if there's only 2 of us in the back.
No, you said this is fine. Don't worry about it.
Neil, sit next to the window, man.
Oh, yeah, okay. And he scoots over next to the window.
Oh my god. Nothing. Go.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Let's get going.
The group of you head off, leaving Elysium. You guys head to Miles's haven. Johnny, where are you stopping off?
Johnny's just gonna ditch the Honda somewhere close to like the impound yard, basically. Do a once over, clean it out to make sure there's nothing incriminating left behind. Then he's gonna walk a block off, find a payphone, and call for a cab to
You
bring him
like-
over to.
You find a bowl underneath the seat, and that's about it.
I'll ditch that for the sake of the stoners we took this from.
Okay.
I mean, we paid them.
Yeah, but if this car is going to be impounded by local New Haven and like contact the owners, I don't want them finding a bowl and charging them with other stuff.
I'm just defending myself by saying that we did pay them. We
Just defending.
Right.
I'll have
I
you
forgot
know.
I forgot to think about you in this scenario.
Exactly.
Sorry about that.
As always, think about me.
But he does all. I mean, to be fair, Johnny
Okay.
is also searching the car for anything incriminating about the kindred that rode in it.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right,
the
no.
Kindred-
I'm not
You guys
just-
seem to have cleaned up pretty well.
And and then basically just leaves that car behind somewhere where it can get picked up by authorities, heads to a payphone, calls for a cab, and then just takes a cab over to Miles Haven.
You catch a cab back to Miles's haven. By then, those who needed a change of clothes are able to kind of get adjusted, and the 5 of you meet together.
I feel refreshed.
Britta had pretty immediately walked away, assumably to change, but probably also to have her own moment. So when she comes back, she's so quiet.
Wynn just kind of comes in and plops on the couch and kind of holds her head in her hands and contemplates her life choices recently.
Neil comes in and plops on the couch and just waits for the talking to start.
Britta also seems not to look at the couch very much in Miles's haven.
I take Marcos aside real quick and was like, if you need to go back to something, please do. We should be fine for the rest of the night.
Please do not hesitate to contact me if you need anything. And he,
I will, my friend.
He kind of gives a nod and turns and heads off.
I think Johnny actually arrives just as he sees Marcos taking off. Comes in through the usual entrance Johnny comes into. I think probably you prefer me coming in through the side rather than the front.
Has the door been fixed yet?
Yes, we had extra doors.
It's in the Johnny closet.
I mean, I feel like if you're not a Ventru prepared for your haven to be breached a few times, then what kind of Ventru are you?
Dead one.
That's exactly correct.
What happened?
The new Nos Primogen cornered me and asked me what happened to Shaw. And I told him.
And why is this a kerfuffle?
Because it makes Johnny look really, really bad.
What did happen to Shaw?
He staked Miles.
I vaguely recall that part. Oh, right. Maybe we should reiterate what happened after we lost sight of Neil, since he's actually not been around.
Yeah, I sort of got caught up with dead Lupine, and Shaw is not around, and there's a new Nos Primogen. I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
The fight with the Lupine drained both myself and Miles of pretty much everything we had.
It wasn't the fight. It was Reese draining you.
Well, that's why I was saying the fight drained us of what we had, which let Reese tip us over the edge into frenzy. And Shaw managed to ambush Miles with a stake, and
right after we took down the Lupine. And
just as I was about to fight him, I was thrown into hunger frenzy, and I pretty much drank him to final death.
How?
I didn't diablerize him, if that's what you're asking.
It's not what I'm asking, although good to know. I hope you don't
the
freak out
Vitae
if I verify that, but how...
The Vitae just pulled out of my body. I don't know how to describe that.
No,
Reese reached out and pulled it out. It felt...
At least Reese dominated me to help Johnny kill Shaw.
Sounds like you need a clarifying question here.
No, I actually don't need a clarifying
It felt
question.
like my blood animated.
And
it became snakes or worms, and it just...
He pulled it
forced its way out of me.
Reese is a Tremere. He would be expert in the path of life's water.
I hate this magic shit.
I know.
He was also flying around, too.
Yeah.
I just figured you might want to know.
But so is this Nos going to try to accuse Johnny of diablerizing, or...?
That's my concern.
Well,
unfortunately, even though Reese had quite a bit of a hand in it, at the end of the day, I did kill Shaw.
So what's that then, a life boon, or...?
Depends on what they want to play for. This Nos, he's working for Operation Longbow, is he not?
Seems like most of the court is.
No.
That's what I heard from Jane.
That the Nosferatu are working for Operation Longbow?
Yeah.
We thought he might be stepping in for Shaw, right?
I mean, if
the new Nos, he's the new Primogen.
He's Shaw's kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's also the grandchild of the prince out in Rhode Island, right?
Warwick?
I think so, yeah.
Warwick?
That sounds about right. Unfortunately, I don't know much about his political affiliations besides those that he's associated with at this point.
I mean...
Well, Jane was telling me that Warwick is pretty buddy-buddy with Pendragon.
Right. This goes back to only knowing those he's associated with, not his own.
Warwick is the one who... Warwick... Do you know how the Nos know a lot?
Yes.
Okay, Warwick, if I understand correctly, and I think I do, Warwick's the one who's really helping set up the web. He's the one setting all that up.
The thing Xantosa was talking about?
Yeah. Has anyone explained what the web is to you guys?
No, I just assumed some sort of information network.
Yeah, that's about what I assumed.
It's exactly that. So
I did wonder if it used the internet or not.
Xantosa being part of the web means that he was feeding information to the Nosferatu, right? I mean, it's part of the reason why the Nosferatu like me so much.
But Neil, you said that you could verify that Johnny hadn't diablerized, right?
Yeah, you know for a fact, I mean, if you hadn't, that goes a long way to, negotiating down the Nosferatu. You're sure? I mean, if you were in hunger frenzy, do you want me to check?
I've never diablerized before, and I don't think that's what happened.
Would you like me to check?
What does that involve exactly?
That kind of a sin leaves a stain on someone's soul, on their aura, and if you know how to look, you can see it if you're looking for it.
Johnny gets this really, nasty, disdainful look in his face. Doesn't that looking involve your blood magic?
No, it doesn't. As a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with it, and has everything to do with the perceptions of a Malkavian. Or not just a Malkavian, I mean, Britta might be able to do it too.
Then drink it in. Have all the look you want.
This seems rather non-invasive.
Well, I know, but if we're going to do stuff to each other, I figure we
yes, I'm just
ask.
promoting.
Well, let's just look so that we know how to move forward next time we're back at court.
Britta, has anyone explained what diablerie is to you?
It sounds like when you eat someone.
You're close, but there's an important distinction. It's not when you eat someone's body, it's when you eat someone's soul.
Like, literally?
Well, specifically a kindred soul. You can't just go... Well, most people probably can't just go around eating other people's souls. But, yeah, you physically pull someone's soul out of their body and consume it. It's a horrific act and verboten in the eyes of the Camarilla.
So that leaves a stain on your aura forever, you said?
Yes. An indelible mark of corruption.
Can you check me too?
Neil gives her a really weird look, like, why are you asking that question?
Well, you said it was a terrible sin, and, I don't remember what I've done. Johnny knows he's never done it, apart from, she kind of trails off. Maybe this, but...
Kid, I don't think you have to worry about that. I know that those first nights when we brought you in after the new year are a blur, but the court already went through some of those things with you.
Okay.
I could still look if it would make you feel better. If that's the sort of thing you want. And as we're talking, I guess Neil will activate aura perception and take a look around, looking for the telltale black veins of diablerie.
Okay, go ahead and give me a roll.
That's 5 successes. Neil opens his eyes and just stares at Johnny, unblinking for a little while, in that really uncomfortably perceptive way that he does sometimes.
Johnny's aura is pale, striped between purple and red, with sections desaturating out to almost brown, with a weird undercurrent of a very deep red on the tips of that. No of the black strands of diablerie.
Johnny, I'm sorry, man. That came out wrong. It's not diablerie. There's nothing there. You're good. You don't seem okay right now. But not in a diablerie way. In a diablerie way, you seem okay.
Johnny kind of rolls his eyes a little bit, grabs out his Morleys, pops one in his mouth, lights up, and just kind of crumples down on the couch.
If you ever want to talk about it,
Do I look like I want to talk about it?
No, that's why I'm offering, because sometimes people don't. Anyway, Britta, you wanted me to look, or is that... He just, gets really uncomfortable under Johnny's, gaze?
I mean, yeah, if I don't... You said they would check, I don't know.
I mean, in theory they would, but in theory, Reese could have told us exactly who your sire is and didn't, so I don't know how much trust we're putting there.
That's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that a yes or a... I don't...
Sure, if it doesn't cost anything.
Just costs letting Neil gaze at your base emotions and how they fluctuate. He gives another kind of look over at Neil.
Your senses are heightened. You could probably do it too at some point if you were interested.
I've never seen anything like that while using my senses.
Well, if you ever start to, it's kind of like when you're driving at night sometimes and you see a halo around the around a street lamp if you have like an astigmatism, kind of. Anyway, you want me to roll again to look at Britta?
Honestly, now that I think about it, Johnny's fucking aura looks like a bruise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, not as good. It was only one.
She will tell you that she has a pale aura. He did not score enough.
Oh, interesting. Okay. When Neil tries to look, all he sees is a paleness in her aura.
It almost sounds like looking at Johnny's aura was so intense it left like a sunspot
Yeah.
on like like in like your like third eye vision. There's this sunspot of the colors that he had, and it's interfering with looking at what her aura is, because it's so hers is like much more subtle and refined, versus Johnny's just kind of like brute, fucking nasty bruise.
Neil stares at Britta for a lot longer than he was looking at Johnny. Almost to the point of like frustration, like he's looking at a magic eye and he can't make the picture resolve.
She's staring back, almost like confrontationally. It's as this is going on, it's relatively clear that she actually really wants this answer.
Well, so good news, and I mean also maybe good news, depending on how you look at it. As far as I can tell, you've never eaten anyone.
As far as you can tell, is that certain, or?
Well, I mean, there's literally no certainties, but about anything. But I'm reasonably good at this kind of thing, and there's nothing there.
Okay.
So, as far as I can tell, you have never consumed the soul of another kindred, which is good. That's good news. Also, possibly good news. You are, you're hard to read, Britta. You got your emotions tamped down to the point where I can't see him, or maybe just, Johnny does not have them tamped down at all. Maybe it was just it's like whiplash looking between the two of you.
Britta kind of sneaks a glance at Johnny and looks to Neil and says, "Thank you."
Yeah. You're a kindred. I can tell that much, but
I just wanted to know. All right.
Yeah.
But so we know for Johnny, right? So that we can use that moving forward in court. We can use that as proof. And then
we can use it as proof of what Neil saw, but any kindred who can look and claim they see something different.
Well, that's a lot. Yeah, but you can also, if people are doing that, you can also see when people are lying if you're looking close enough and watching for it. So it's, plus worst comes to worst, I can just take their thoughts out of their heads.
So they can check us. They can see that we're telling the truth about what went down, and we can make sure to say exactly how it happened.
The truth of what went down is that Reese was trying to incapacitate me, and in doing so, accidentally lost his good friend Shaw, and I drank him to final death. The fact that I didn't diablerize him is barely a footnote in my innocence.
And you didn't have the right of destruction.
No.
So what we need to do...
And if I'm being honest, my beast wanted to diablerize him.
But you didn't. That's the important part. You held yourself back.
On top of that, we were dealing with a praxis.
Yeah, so all that happened in defense of the prince's realm. So long as Rollins is still in charge around here.
I'm just trying to be as practical as I can, guys.
Right.
When they come for me, and they're going to
because I fucked up hard.
But no. There's a difference between pragmatism and fatalism, and it's not.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Nothing's done deals.
Right,
so
what I'm saying, and I want you to hear what I'm saying here. There's a very strong case against me, and Wynn, none of this is your fault. So don't beat yourself up.
I should have been better at politicking before I took a political position. That's just the long and short of it.
I shouldn't have drank Shaw to final death. The point is, I am not a popular Bruja. The clan does not like me. I was created by the Sabbat. That's a fact. It is a well-known fact, unfortunately.
So you need more people on your side, Johnny.
I drank the Nosferatu primogen of the city without right of destruction. All the mitigating circumstances aside, those facts are pretty damning. And when they come for me, those are going to be at the forefront. So if we want to get ahead of them, we got to think about how we're going to be cutting those off now.
this is the Camarilla. It's all mitigating circumstances all the time, you know. And Britta, I mean, you're right. This is the.
You need either Reese or Rollins, right? Probably both, to speak for you. Or just to be on your side, or the word of someone important in the court. That could really help.
Right. And that's part of the thing that we've been working on. We also don't know what the Nos wants, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. He may have hated Shaw for all that we know, and is glad, and will get something out of us, but at the end of the day, might thank us. Who knows? We don't know this Nosferatu at all.
I mean, I can, you know, meet them where they are at some point. Maybe somebody can come with me. We can have a little talk when we have an opportunity to do that.
Sure.
You know, I've got friends in the Nosferatu.
And on top of that, it was during a praxis defense.
So if that's the angle we want to play, then fine. But what that means is we have to play that angle before they play asking for retribution.
Right.
So
because whoever claims that first is going to look the better.
So we need to talk to Rollins or Reese now.
If I claim that killing Shaw was the right and just thing to do, or somebody else claims that it was the right and just thing to do for me, I would be much better off than having the Nosferatu say, we want vengeance for this dirty deed that happened.
Which, to me, says when we have to make those kind of moves, when you're a Primogen, you have some ins. Miles, you're the sheriff now, right?
Correct.
So you guys talk to Rollins, talk to Reese. They respond better with Johnny. They respond better to privilege and status.
Though it also might make sense, being that this didn't get brought up at the court, that it's just going to be a move they play later on.
Yeah, but that's why. So you have those conversations, and if those conversations happen, it just should be you. And I know with the Nosferatu, they like me, and at least some of them would love to talk to Britta.
When you said you told him this information about what went down, was there anything else that he wanted from you?
He just wanted the story.
That's it.
Yeah. He just wanted the facts.
Did you get a sense of what he thought about that?
He had a much better poker face than I do.
He didn't bring it out. He didn't look for demands right away.
No. He
he's
didn't even really... I had to make a call whether I was going to lie about it or whether I was going to be honest about it.
It's good that you didn't lie.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a third option, but I don't think you had that option.
Which one is that?
You can tell the truth in a way that suits you.
Obfuscate. Half-truths.
Yeah.
Don't lie to the Nos. They'll find stuff out.
That's kind of what I figured was lying to a Nos is sort of like a fart in church.
Same... What?
It's not going to go over well.
Okay. Same goes for talking to the Malkavians, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Kind of more so, in some ways.
Anyways.
So we can talk to people in court, try to get their favor. I feel like, Johnny, you know you're not very popular with the Bruja right now, but you've got a bit more of a chance with Shaw gone.
She has a point.
Depends on how this Pendragon thing shakes out.
That's our next point. What we need to do is make sure to keep Pendragon at bay for now. And it also means we're going within a week to Boston.
Right. So what's... There Boston's come up a couple of times in conversation recently. What are the things that we have to do in Boston?
Arabella Rollins.
Okay, find her. What else do we have to do in
I
Boston?
think we have to bring her back alive.
When you said you also have business there.
Yeah, there's something happening with the undead, and it's centered in Boston.
The spirit realms, you were saying, right?
Yeah, it's in both the spirit realm and in the realm of the dead, but it's centered in the realm of the dead.
To catch you up, Wynn fought a bunch of zombies somewhere.
I
Weird.
did.
That's weird.
In the Holy Land.
What?
The old
theme park.
amusement park.
Oh.
Different Holy Land.
Yep. No,
The
I got it
defunct
now.
Holy Land, if
Yeah.
you will.
More of the place that Jesus would whip people out of.
Down like Waterbury.
Yeah.
Yes, he would whip them all out of Waterbury.
The place is creepy. The Holy
Waterbury
Land,
could
not
use a good
Waterbury.
whipping.
And then there's the Lee family, and they have a whole bunch of place, the old Lee land.
What?
Never mind.
He's making a joke, and
It's a pun. I appreciate it.
he's a dad. We have to give it to him.
So if we go to Boston and we get some of this stuff done, we can get some,
Some
doing
clout
well
for Johnny.
Yes, doing well in the eyes of the court, maybe even get a couple boons that we might be able to use.
I like the way you're thinking, Britta.
Anything else we have to do up and in the Boston that's come up at least?
So, I mean, you all know who's in charge of Boston, right?
Not really, no.
Yes.
Okay. Quentin King, he's a member of my clan.
They were talking a bit about him.
Yeah, he, I only know him from reputation, but very sort of old world, old school chivalry kind of thing.
Like Britta and I shouldn't talk.
No, not what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's cut from the same cloth that Pendragon's cut from.
Yeah.
But we're being announced, right? That he knows he's from last time.
Well, are we? Are we being...
I believe that's what
Miles,
Pendragon said, right?
Yes.
Are you getting us hospitality up in...
When we get up there, I thought Pendragon had said something about announcing us ahead of time or something.
We're going to need hospitality and we're going to need a place to stay.
Right.
Raven also told me she would be willing to help us out in the Boston area. She's got some favors to call in.
If we're...
Jane's got a contact for us, too. You can get us settled up there.
Okay. Non-loaded question. Are any of those contacts and help in the Camarilla, or are they anarchs?
Raven's decidedly not in the Camarilla.
That's why I'm asking. Because if we're going to go and tromp around in the territory of Prince Quentin King, I think we really need to rely on...
I would trust any contact that Jane gives me.
Okay.
Even if they're outside of the sect, I would trust that it's somebody that can actually tell us who we should be talking to within the sect.
Okay. Quentin King is not somebody you play social hardball with. Just period. And he's not the same kind of prince that Upton Rollins is.
He's competent.
He is... expecting is not the word. That's a pregnancy thing.
That's a pregnancy thing.
He has expectations.
Yeah.
He has...
So
he believes roles need to be fulfilled, it sounds like.
Yes.
Etiquette and all that, correct?
Yeah. And any attempt to like stonewall or hardball him, it's just...
So we be polite, we follow etiquette, and we just need hospitality from him, right?
And we don't try to pull anything over on him.
He's going to want to know what we're doing in his city.
Very good. We'll tell him. But I will check on the status of any other venture before we go up there. There might be some other information I might have, especially with Arabella in the region.
So it sounds like really what the play here is that we're going to try and back a lot of the locals. And even though we're working with some of these individuals from the Pendragon camp, we're going to make sure we're not selling ourselves over to them, right? But
Not
playing nice for the most part.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Generally.
What do you mean generally?
Generally. I don't pledge this kind of stuff. Things happen, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So, but generally, yes, looking to play nice.
He's reserving his right to take an arm if he needs to.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If we're in Boston, you don't have that right.
Miles, do you expect Arabella to... What do you expect her reaction to be at this point?
I think she's going to want to talk.
Should we listen to her?
I don't know. I also don't know what kind of... It sounds like she's making a fuss up in Boston. So I don't know what kind of friend she has up there.
I mean...
So at the end, I'm going to have to talk to her.
Last time I saw her, she got marched out into the balcony by what it looked like was Reese and Shaw to declare praxis.
Marched out? She came out.
Yes.
Because we were making a lot of noise, and she decided that this was the time to play that. Arabella is competent and generally well-connected, even among the Ventru. It's just she picked other individuals to back her play here that didn't quite work to her favor. She forgot to check in with the Ventru and what they wanted.
So are we bringing her back?
That's the objective, yes.
All right.
We're just going to... we're just going to, like, box her and throw her to the prince, right? That's the...
Roland seems to want to talk to her. I think he's hoping that he can convince her to come back. I'm thinking...
You can unbox someone.
All right. I'm kind of going to play it by ear. My intention isn't to go up there and start a fight with her. Let's make that clear.
Well, yeah, no, because that's, not without the permission of the Court of Boston.
What if she's under protection there?
Then we have to maneuver in the Court of Boston.
We'll need to figure out what's going on. Unfortunately, we don't know the landscape much
But
yet.
what we'll have to do is we'll have to go ask permission to hunt her down, to return her to New Haven.
Right, or at least...
Or just ask her politely to do I mean...
Right, something like that. There might be a conversation before we, have to stake her and throw her into a bag.
Here's a question, and I think I know the answer, but I may have missed it. Did Rollins declare a blood hunt?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think any there weren't any blood hunts declared whatsoever.
There was only one major repercussion for the whole event.
Yeah.
Which was...
What was that?
The change of sheriff position.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's sounding like we need to go to Boston sooner rather than later to get ahead of all of these problems.
To be clear, partially because they placed most of the blame on Shaw. And since he's died and not able to defend himself...
Right, so...
And the Harpy spot has been left vacant as well.
I believe that'll be filled soon.
Right, but that is the other repercussion.
That's gonna be filled
because
soon.
Arabella was Harpy, correct?
She was, yeah.
Yes.
She was.
Okay.
And we voted on it tonight.
Oh, yeah?
So if we-
Where's the vote?
Elsa.
Interesting.
That tracks.
So if we can get Arabella back to Rollins, then he'll be more likely to help us with the Johnny thing.
Correct. I prefer for her to come back in
Fingers
the
crossed.
fold. And I would like to know what the Ventru want to do with it, because her helping in the defense of New Haven would be excellent. It would be great, really.
Well,
She's...
assuming that our old... I mean... You remember when we all kind of thought that maybe she and Shaw and Reese were working alongside the Sabat? Assuming that's not true, then yeah.
Assuming that's not true, correct. But she went to another Camarilla domain instead.
Yeah, kinda draws a line there.
If she had really fled to somewhere else, if she was working Sabat, I feel like she may have gone there, but you're right. We should make sure to...
Depends on how good she is at lying.
Alright, so when do we want to try and get to Boston? How long do we need to make prep?
I mean, we could go tomorrow night.
A couple days, I think, might be best to get everything in order.
We might also, before we go there, don't you have a friend who was shipped here that we might want to check in on?
Yeah, that's why I kind of want to go back to my place.
It's still there.
Check in. Oh, have you been? Okay, good.
I mean, I haven't been there personally. It's not really my type of part of town that I like to go to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it exists.
Okay.
Hasn't been broken in.
That is something I would like to check up on before we go, if possible. But I don't even know if she got here yet, and Jubair's not around for me to ask him.
I'll tell you what. Why don't the three of you go check in on your friend to see if you can find them and make sure they're all right. Wynn and I'm gonna borrow her to take care of something that Jane asked me to look in on.
All right.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Do we want to meet back here for tonight and I'll bed down at your haven? Or does that...
It's probably good to stick together still through this.
I think the sooner that we get to, the sooner we start going to Boston, the sooner we can start making good with the court and getting people on Johnny's side.
So let's take care of a few things tonight, and then tomorrow night we'll get all our preparations in order. We'll get vehicles and things like that. Maybe we'll be sleeping in Boston tomorrow night.
Get some rest, get fed, get ready.
Concise, I like it.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Team on 3?
Johnny kind of just taps Wynn on the shoulder and heads out.
Neil alone just puts his hand out and goes 1, 2, 3 team, and then
Go team.
After they left, he's like, just quick question, Neil. And I know it's been a whirlwind since you came back, but was Jubair your friend? Was he a captor, or it seemed like he was a friend?
He was a friend of mine. I don't think I would have made it out of Baghdad without him. I just met him. But yeah, he was...
I'm sorry we could not keep him alive.
Yeah, me too.
Because we owe him a great deal for that.
He was a good guy, and he was running just as much as I was.
If you find out a way we can help him out even after this, then...
I guess that's going to depend on what Nara has to say.
Right. I'm just letting you know that I wish to help also.
Thanks, Miles.
I'm glad that you're back. I had hoped, but it did not seem...
No, I gave myself up for dead. I was pretty sure. It would have happened if it wasn't for Nara, so...
We're all just really glad to be wrong.
Yeah, me too. So
I did tell you about the Elsa thing, right?
I probably.
She owes you a life boon.
Oh, okay, great.
She's gonna. Yeah. I just figured I'd let you know.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Neil, did Nosferatu want to talk to me?
Why? I know Fester would like to.
The group of you get rest for the daylight hours. However, Neil finds his sleep restless. And there are moments where he swears he even woke up during the day. But every time he closed his eyes, he dreamed of the same thing. A small child's black hand rising, gripping him by the throat and choking all who opposed it. Over and over and over again. By the time he wakes up, his body is shivering from what he felt and still feels in the room with him.
Neil gets up, pokes around the familiar garbage-strewn room underneath his pawn shop, trying to calm down and going over and over and over and over again in his head his packing list for a trip up to Boston. Disappointed and also a little relieved not to have found Nara or any sort of like big human-shaped box delivered to his haven yet. And a little worried, a little concerned because he doesn't have like a packing slip or anything. He has no idea where to find her, and he's just scared of that. He grabs a bag, like a JanSport backpack, and starts filling it with stuff. Underneath his bed, goes over and pulls out just this little tin bowl, like one of those camp bowls, with a bunch of holes punched into the side of it, and hanging from it are just various keys, like house keys, car keys, skeleton keys, just all around the edges of it. Puts on a tie-dye t-shirt. It's all kind of a stained tie-dye t-shirt, and then dresses over it with like his white mandarin collar shirt and sort of maroon sweater. Into the bag goes a plastic Ghostbusters thermos, a little Altoids tin filled with like wooden splinters, some pepper spray, some hand sanitizer, a little baggie full of ashes, a spool of white ribbon like you tie off presents with, broken shards of a mirror that if he was alive, he probably would have cut his hand on, a notepad, a bunch of pens, a little coin purse with just various coins that he actually puts into his pocket rather than the backpack, a little baggie full of thumbtacks, a little tiny knife, and then he puts his phone in his pocket, and in the front pocket of the backpack puts like 6 half-full Bic lighters. Zips up the backpack and looks down at it and nods his head like, good. Yeah, this is something that I'm definitely going to need for a trip to Boston for a couple of days. Walks out past all the, guitars and shelves full of Beanie Babies and old clothes and records, and closes up the shop to head his way over to Miles.
You arrive to Miles' haven, where members of the coterie are gathered up in a circle, laying out backpacks and gear and stacking everything up on the table as they make final preparations to head for Boston. What I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to go around the table. We're going to be tracking gear because of some of the things that can happen during the course of your trip. And I'm going to go around the table and get the rest of you to also list out what gear you are bringing with you and what your fellow coterie mates can see you like laying out on the table as you make those final preparations. Johnny, we're going to go ahead and start with you.
Johnny, in addition to his leather jacket and usual thick red flannel shirt, has laid out in front of him next to an old canvas like surplus duffel bag 3 packs of Morley cigarettes, a Zippo lighter, his beeper, 50 feet of rope, his Wayfarer sunglasses, a collection of mixtapes for the road, the set of body armor given to him by Miles, a shotgun with a bandolier of 6 shotgun shells, a boot knife, a matte black axe, 3 wooden stakes, $100 cash, coins for tolls, and a 3-pack of clean white t-shirts.
So you guys, see Johnny kind of laying all of that out, including the sunglasses. Wynn, why don't we get what they see from you?
So Wynn has a small messenger bag that she seems to be loading most of her stuff in. She has the body armor from Miles, her leather jacket, which she just wears. She doesn't bother packing that. 3 lighters, because those seem to come in handy. Her dad's heavy pistol, a notebook plus pencils and pens, miscellaneous reading materials, 3 joints, a set of brass knuckles, some extra clothes, mostly flannel and hoodies and jeans. She took the extra precaution of ensuring that she has showered and is wearing clothes without holes in them, but still wearing flannel.
I feel like Johnny is and Wynn are standing next to each other, kind of confidently nodding at their selection of stuff in front of them.
Yep.
Miles, what about you?
Well, I have a hardback suitcase with with my various items laid out and folded properly for at least one good suit, a more casual suit, just a set of casual clothing in case I have to blend in somewhere.
Are you sure he doesn't have a garment bag?
I would imagine that
For the suits, probably.
maybe. It's tough to say. I've never been sure which...
Lean hard into it, bro.
Yeah.
Lean hard into it. Just doesn't matter. Fucking get that garment bag.
Or just a gigantic suitcase with it's this huge flat suitcase.
Jesus.
I like it.
Your casual clothes can go in there, but your suits,
Yeah. Well,
it's Italian silk.
Can't fold those.
the casual clothes go with the shoes that go in the hard case. They all have their own shoes that go along with them.
So
Yeah,
how many suits
shoe
are we
bag.
talking?
3.
And
Well, technically 4 because I also have my war attire.
I'm sorry, back that up. What?
My war attire.
For the sake of the audience, can you explain what your
My war attire
is?
is my long black leather trench coat, the pristine body armor, the sunglasses that go along with it, the belt with everything else that holds the katana, the holster rig and all that goes along with it, my tactical pants,
With the tactical pleats?
yes,
Okay.
along with my... I haven't figured out the shirt. It's probably a black turtleneck.
So what you're saying is Marcos is definitely here helping you arrange all of your clothes into various bags.
Oh, yes. I mean, he's the one arranging them.
He's-
I'm just overseeing.
He's definitely steaming these garments as he's putting them in, too.
And then a bankroll of cash, and a guitar case which holds and basically hides both the katana and the pistol in it for general transport.
And Britta, what do you have?
So Britta's taken the box for the back of the car out to preemptively place the assault rifle with some collapsible stock that Miles gave to her to remain in the back of the car. For other items, she's got a sleek purple duffel bag, like a dark purple. It's got the body armor that Miles gave to her, the red leather jacket as well that Johnny gave to her, a heavy pistol, what looks to be a combat knife, her cell phone. There's a silencer as well. There's a notebook with some colored pencils, and her clothing. She is dressed very nicely. It's the kind of clothing that you can make different outfits out of. So a lot of layering going on. Probably a thin white turtleneck beneath, like a black silken dress. She's got her gloves with her. A couple options that she can switch out in order to make a different outfit. And she's also got her makeup kit. She starts to put $200 in with everything. Miles sees this.
Slips a couple more hundreds in there,
Gets-
shakes his head, and this is appropriate.
She kind of looks down at the money, nods, murmurs, "Thank you," and the total goes up to $500.
Wynn also does bring her cell phone in case I forgot to mention it, and I think I did.
So the group of you are gathered up. What car are you guys taking?
I don't know, Miles. What car are we taking?
Probably the Blazers should still be in good working condition, and that one's nice in case weather doesn't go the way we want it to. And You know, if it get destroyed, I won't be super distraught.
It's got plenty of room in the back for your wardrobe.
Correct.
So the group of you pile into the Blazer with Johnny behind the wheel and Miles up front as well.
Correct.
Johnny pops in one of his awesome mixtapes.
The music starts blaring. The Blazer pulls out and the group of you start your trip to Boston.
Your appreciation for leather metal is always very much appreciated.
Johnny kind of nods at you.
Hey, I'm still a little, crispy.
Define crispy.
Johnny grabs the rear view and kind of like tilts it so he can look at her with a confused look.
Back when we were fighting, there's still damage there. And I've been trying to heal it, but I haven't been able to... I've healed a bit of it, but I haven't... It's a lot of feeding, I think.
So we need to get you some more food.
Yeah.
Was it a supernatural damage, or...?
I didn't really understand. It's magic? Fire?
Fire. Right.
Those Assamites got you good, huh?
I don't know if we ever went through it, but yeah, some types of wounds are harder for our body to come back from. And that might be some of the trouble that you're dealing with now.
The children of Hakim are really good at dishing out that kind of punishment.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can necessarily do anything to heal that, but I can make sure that you're at least fed properly.
All right.
There's a couple of rest stops on the way up to Boston. We might be able to find somebody sleeping in their truck, or maybe a group of stoned kids like we met on the way up from New York.
I'm sure if push comes to shove, we
Easy
can
pickings.
Sounds good. Thank you.
make something happen.
Johnny will then keep an eye out for rest stops. And he probably won't necessarily, I think what he would probably do is, as there are multiple rest stops on the way up to Boston, he'll kind of stop at each one and kind of just do a quick prowl through to see if there's any easy targets of convenience. If not, he won't sweat it. He'll just hit the next one.
So the closer rest stops kind of give you that bad feeling, and your experience with the road lets you know that there might be enemies lurking and kind of watching over these areas.
Yep.
But the further north you get, the better it becomes. You end up coming to a place where it looks like there is these two buses that have been full of people, and they're just kind of going, getting some quick fast food and then sort of lounging around and passing out in the bus. It kind of creates this opportunity where there's a lot of people kind of stepping off to the side to make phone calls, people just kind of milling around here.
Oh man, is it the Funghua bus? Those always go back and forth between Boston and New York, and yeah.
So you find yourself, pulling around the side. And
This looks like it's pretty populated right now. All right, everybody just be casual about it. Let's not start anything. But I think we're safe to maybe mingle a little bit and get fed.
Sounds good.
I'm in.
Looking the least casual, I will stay by the car.
Okay. Again, it's mostly people just relaxing and chit-chatting with each other. When you get close, it becomes clear that they're not really paying a ton of attention as to what people kind of linger close to their big circle of friends.
What kind of role would you like for feeding?
It depends on what you're doing to hunt. So, Britta, what's your
I'm not
strategy?
doing that.
Britta is going to try to angle for a guy who would walk away with her.
Okay, you do find there's a good chunk of the guys that are there that don't seem to be there specifically with someone, and they're just sort of, road tripping.
Just talk to someone, say hey, smile, see if she can get someone who might want to walk away and disappear maybe around the other side of the building.
Okay, why don't you give me a manipulation subterfuge? So you're looking at a difficulty of 4.
4.
But remember your wound penalties.
I have 1, so that's is that a botch? What is that?
Did you get only a 1?
I have... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, that I didn't realize that was... I have 1 success. I thought that 8 was not an 8. I thought that was something else.
It should be anything 4 or above. Did you roll?
Oh, I'm really dumb. Never. Okay, I have 3 successes.
There we go. Okay.
I can't count is the problem.
So you casually lure him off.
Yeah.
How much are you taking, though?
I will take 3.
You drink 3, he passes out.
All right. If he passes out, kind of prop him up. Was he with anyone?
No, he was not.
All right. Then I'll kind of like help him back over. Say to someone that he might have been sitting next to and say like, hey, is he all right?
Oh, and they kind of like hurry over to check on him in a bit of a panic. Do you lick the wound?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Otherwise, they'd be like, oh, it appears a vampire drank from him.
No. The chupacabra.
I was gonna sound weird, but he's got some fang marks.
Kind of like make some suggestions about low blood sugar or something and just, make sure he's settled with this new person. Walk away.
Okay.
I think Johnny will also take this opportunity to try and feed a little bit.
What you doing?
I think he doesn't really want to necessarily waylay somebody at a rest station who's not already waylaying. So I think he's going to kind of, being that he knows kind of where some of the long haul trucks hang out, he's going to see if he can spot somebody who's maybe like bedding down for the night and maybe just kind of like expedite that along. Hopefully maybe he'll catch somebody heading back to their rig, see if he can, interrupt them, ask them a few questions. And then once he gets them out of sight in between some trucks, he'll feed, then bring them inside their vehicle and just kind of lay them down and, make sure that they don't, the wound is all closed and everything like that.
Okay, why don't you give me a charisma and leadership?
Would you take maybe streetwise?
I would definitely take streetwise.
2 successes.
Okay. How much are you taking?
Take 3 blood.
Oh, okay.
As long as I find somebody who I think is healthy enough for it.
Yeah, easily.
Wynn's also gonna take the time to hunt.
What's your strategy?
She looks to see if anyone has pitched a tent at this truck stop. Like, maybe they weren't driving a car. Maybe they were walking along the highway.
You're not going to see very much in the way of pitched tents in that way.
Barring that, she'll look for someone sleeping in their car.
There are definitely people sleeping in their car.
And she will try and just quietly take some from someone who's already asleep.
Okay, so while you're hunting, why don't you give me perception and stealth?
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay, how much are you taking?
2.
All right, done. Neil and Miles, are either of you hunting?
Yeah, I spent a couple to wake up the past couple of nights. So Neil will actually go lurk in the men's room until there's just one person in there with him under obfuscate. And just grab them while their back is turned.
I just thought he was going to lurk in there as normal instead.
Just a weird creeper. Yeah.
And I've been in some restaurants where you get that guy in the bathroom.
Yeah. Literally, Neil goes to be that guy in the bathroom.
Give me the perception and stealth.
He's just there offering to hand people paper towels.
Want some lotion?
Hey man, Neil hunts like a creep. I don't know what to tell you. Does my lurking stealth spec apply to this?
If it doesn't now, I don't know when it will.
Oh my god.
Could only have been better if it was a creeping stealth spec.
Oh, man.
You could have multiple specs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Got a lurker.
All right, so that's 4 successes.
Straight creeping.
The only thing I can imagine that would be worse if he's propped up above a stall like a spider waiting for an individual to come in there and just
No, dude, it is definitely when somebody walks up to a urinal and is not looking.
So it looks like the group of you end up finishing off your hunting and continue your journey up north.
Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the classic world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Brujah was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Ventrue was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode was edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was January Grunge Love Fest by Technoaxe. Visit them online at technoaxe.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition rule set of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade is owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at Path of Night Pod, on Facebook at facebook.com/Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
I mean, he usually breaks into people's houses while they're sleeping. Like,
Yeah,
come
let's
on.
not
I
talk
don't know
about this. It's can't you just pay them?
Malkavians have a real fucking hard time hunting, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
I totally am imagining a scene where somebody's at the urinal and they feel you behind them in that kind of awkward, like, can you fucking leave me alone? I need to drink your blood. What?
Just not okay.
We're vampires.
Somebody walks in. Whoa! Okay, I'll leave you guys in here.
Didn't see shit.